6:30 on there, but I don't know that it's doing anything yet. Good luck.
Does it need some help?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Yeah.
maybe even not.
So technologically
Yeah, you paid,
inclined.
Dennis? Yeah, you paid.
All right, look, it's coming.
But I get credit for offering
There
that.
you go, that's the important thing.
Top of the list, Dennis.
There you go.
Okay, welcome to the Troy City Council work meeting for August 5th, 2024. Do we do the pledge this one or just the regular meeting? Okay. So we'll start with public comments on matters on the agenda. Pretty slim agenda.
Yeah.
So there aren't any. We'll move on to Dollar General. Infrastructure needs to provide service. So I assume there's people here to talk about that.
We need the fire department would really like to see the hydrant out front upgraded when they're putting that in. And as a fire department, their road approach needs to be looked at because it's so narrow coming into where they're planning on doing that parking lot on the main street. We can really get bottleneck trying to get in there.
Are they still planning on, are they still oriented?
Coming in on the Sunset and coming into their parking lot that way.
Yeah, so turning off the highway right there at the county shop and taking the left into it.
Okay.
And that's a real narrow exit anyhow on that road there.
No
It's
turn
gonna be
lane.
chippy, that's
Yeah.
our road crew, but it's gonna beat the hell out of that road. So,
And the hydrant they have, that they want to use, the
There's
one
no
at the
data
corner
for
of
it.
Twilight and Sunset, which is an old one, and then they're expecting us to go past the scene, hook to a hydrant, try to get turned around when traffic is there, to come back into the parking lot. It needs to be in the parking lot.
And also it's fed by a 4-inch.
Because that main that's at the county's a newer main, so they can go off of that one.
Is there a newer main in there, Dennis? Or is it all?
Well, it's a newer main, but the T coming off of it is a 4-inch
Oh,
going to the hydrant.
So what we need a hydrant right on the corner of the highway in the corner right
That'd
there,
be the
correct?
best one.
That'd be ideal.
yes.
So you guys could hook there with
Tie
the
onto
new,
it, roll in.
yes,
hook up.
that makes all the sense in the world.
But, you know, not on the corner where that street's going to be, because we're going to be fighting traffic to try to get to a
Yeah.
hydrant. It needs to be
Anyways, or somewhere
where
right
we know it
Yeah.
makes sense.
so don't you have final say on that, Dustin?
What's that?
Don't you have final say on that?
I would think so. I can do in the county like in subdivisions.
'Cause that's what I was thinking, because I remember subdivisions.
I did in the subdivisions, and I'm assuming they gotta ask you guys for the plan when they come in on what needs to be done, so.
Well, yeah.
Well, are they working with the state too, with the fire marshal? Is that something she's
They
involved
probably
in?
are, but they should still be talking to the local fire district.
Right, yeah.
So, and the city on what they want to see.
Uh-huh.
Because, like I said, that hydrant, or Blair said too, that hydrant is not capable of hardly any pressure.
Yeah, so.
And it makes no sense to us passing the entrance to grab a hydrant, try to get a truck turned around and get back into it. It makes no sense.
Which way is the main run? Is it down Twilight?
It comes down the highway and turns up and comes up and then dead ends at Kevin's and then goes down Twilight.
So it would just be
And then
basically,
connects to the one going
I mean,
up.
basically just cross the road.
Couldn't they tie into the one in the county shop right there? Could they tie into that one and come straight across the road into that parking lot?
Well, no, because
No.
it's part of the same main.
Oh.
It's coming off the main on
Oh,
Twilight.
okay.
Or not Twilight, but Sunrise.
But the way they have that whole entrance is going to be a nightmare to try to logistically get equipment in and then people out.
Another thing that we've been talking about on the fire department for all these new structures and whatnot, we want to go to the actual knock box to where if there's a box on the side of the building and we got a key in the cab of the truck with us to unlock it, so we got access to it and we don't have their keys and the knock box will be recorded when we open it, so, you know, there's no way of us getting blamed for anything that didn't happen,
yeah,
so.
right.
I'm sure you're familiar with the Libby has it. Almost every town and city in the United States has it. It's been so small here, we don't have it yet, but
Have you talked to Steve over in Linden? Is Steve the chief over there?
Yeah.
Have you talked to Steve to see what they do, like when the, I don't even know if the Dollar General's inside city limits over there, but see if they had a review, or if they got through them, or whether they have something kind of city ordinance wise that forces them to do that.
I'll talk to them now.
That might be a-
This goes all the way to the high school road, don't it?
Well, it used to end at the Venture, but I don't know if it does anymore.
It's a spider web up there.
I would just assume, because it's in the city like the rural, where the city council has the final say on what they want on that kind of stuff. So, but I don't know if you guys can make and fix that, or if it's gonna rely on you guys.
So I was trying to think, we didn't really do much plan review for the town pump, new town pump. So,
Yeah, because that was all through the state.
yeah.
another issue is the southwest corner, they have it going down into my property.
Drainage.
Drainage, and it needs to be self-contained. Because
It
that little
is,
manhole,
it is actually.
the-
But yeah, the guy sent me a map that shows the way the water flows. It's all going to end up in a little settling pond by the highway there.
No,
None of it goes.
on that back corner, all the arrows show it going down Twilight. And not, because on the Sunset Twilight side, it shows it going down to Sunset and then going down to that retaining pond. That back corner by my house, it shows the blue arrows going into that drain that's in front of my house that can't.
Oh, I guess I didn't see that.
Yeah, so that needs to be addressed, because that's gonna flood my place with all that shed off the roof there. And that, you know as well as I do, that drain can't handle that.
Yeah,
much
it
as
does, it does take a lot.
So,
Nope, it already backs up into our house when it rains like
Does
crazy.
it?
Do you have a point of contact for them, Ward?
There was a guy that he's emailed me a couple times. That was one thing he sent me, was like a stormwater thing. It was like 30 pages. It was what he had to send to DEQ to approve. But yeah, I've got it on email.
And DEQ doesn't reach out to us, do they, for,
That's what I was just I mean, because they're the ultimate one.
and that's just a dry well, isn't it?
Yeah, the one by their driveway is just a driveway. And it's,
Yeah, that ain't gonna take the water out of that parking lot.
you know, and that's including half the buildings.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
So, because they have curb and gutter around almost everything else except for that corner they wanted to shed. The way those arrows, you looked at it, the way those arrows, it shows it going down into my
And they don't
house.
have no corner at the back of the building, like
No.
it's piped over or anything, it's just getting it on the street and heading down the street.
good thing is that it's,
Might want to just Ward email them back and say, hey, this is just a dry well, it's gonna get
yeah,
overwhelmed,
it won't handle it.
won't hold it. And
Yeah, if you already have issues, then
No, yeah, we
even
don't
if they're
need-
engineered
don't need no more.
plans, it's not, doesn't sound like it's right.
Well, and the traffic situation alone, I feel like is not going to work out well because everybody's going to avoid turning left off of Sunrise onto Highway 2 and they're going to use Twilight as a frontage road. And our road is so narrow already. It's not even a true two-lane road.
Yeah.
And they're going to use that to get to Iron Creek to cut around. Like it's not going to work out well for the little kids in the neighborhood.
Plus delivery truck, how do you make that turn with a 53-foot trailer and then try to get in there? It needs to be, your city street is not gonna handle the way that truck.
Yeah.
It's an immediate turn and then another turn.
Yeah, look what happened to our
All those
parking lot
axles
from the truck
dragging.
delivering. It tears up the road so bad.
Well, I thought it was gonna be a county road, I looked into it, I was gonna see what we could do about making them pay.
Merry Christmas.
No. When I found out it's not, I was in great shape.
Generally, if there's an upgrade that's needed to be done because.
Yeah, they should have to upgrade that road.
It's a contractor that's supposed to be doing it.
Right.
At least anywhere I've ever been before. But Troy is unique in the fact that we give everything away on that road, so.
Right.
This is the corner of my house. It shows the shoot straight down.
Have they even come into the city council and asked anything about it, or?
Nothing yet. Uh-uh.
Right there. Nothing.
might want to, Dusty,
This is.
maybe get with Steve, find out if they have a procedure or whatever about the hydrant. And then Ward, if you could give that, the guy that's been emailing you, Dusty, the contact info.
I can get you guys, if you guys want to talk to him.
And then-
just email too.
Dusty can call him as the chief and say, hey, we have
Yeah.
significant concerns about where the hydrant placement is for fire safety.
Mhm.
And they may just be like, oh, okay, so.
Yeah, I can talk to them, I can send on that. I don't know what you guys can do on the road aspect of it, talk to them on that.
Yeah, I don't know, we haven't had that one come up yet.
I guarantee you that entrance in there is only 20 feet wide.
At
Yeah,
best, that's at best.
Yeah. I mean,
And the way it's got that slight angle when you turn in, when you're coming past the county shop, you're turning in, it's hard not to get the other way.
I know when I turn a bus in there, I use every bit of that road.
Yeah.
In the wintertime, everybody takes out the stop sign. Or hits the rock that's in the corner.
Or the tree that used to be.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, either or.
Or in Kevin Anderson Yard, which used to be Don Darts. Took that ride.
Yeah, every winter you can see where somebody slid onto the stump where that tree used to be at the corner.
There's a lot of bark missing from that. You know?
True, just about dead by the time you been hit way too many times.
Our building inspector isn't certified yet, right?
No,
For commercial?
they called last week, the general contractor called and I had to refer to the state.
Yeah.
Because,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
David is not commercially certified. so-
Yeah, so the state would be requiring them to get all those sign-offs, I'm sure.
Hopefully.
But I don't
So
know
they
what
don't
the
have
teams
to ask
are.
us anything about that building as a council, I mean,
Not if the state's the,
Look at the Troy
Inspector.
one that was having through the state.
yeah.
wow,
Yeah, same with our building.
State.
really?
How close is he to being ready to be certified?
We haven't seen Hyde Mary or him in March.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Stop paying and he'll show up.
We only pay him when we get permit applications, so. It's very dependent on the buildings that's going on.
Well, I would think somebody would be able to reach out to the state and ask them what their specs are and what they're doing on it.
There should be a road spec. Their ward.
Yeah, I would imagine.
But we don't have, we're not zoned, so you can't say that it was a residential turn into commercial.
Right.
Well, there should still be state or county road specs. Well, if we don't have it, then we roll up to the county. If the county has them, if the county don't have them, then we roll up to the state.
We got, I think it's 25 foot with a certain amount on the shoulders and all that. We got a road standard.
Well, that'd be better than what we got over there now.
Yeah. It would definitely be a lot better. I mean, that needs 10 more feet.
Oh, yeah.
Road's real easy. In theory, the best thing to do.
Then why can't they come off the highway to that, in
They
that
lose
place?
too much of their parking lot because of the elevation. I think is why they're staying away from that.
They're planning on that retaining pond, that holding pond out front.
Mm.
I actually asked that guy, that was one of the questions I asked that guy when I was talking to him, he said state would plan.
Really?
The highway department.
So they're
Because
going-
originally that's what they wanted to do, but the highway department said no, so.
Oh, you know your answer, I don't know.
And there is a retaining wall, right? Between the two.
I think, yeah, I think so.
Privacy wall or fence or something.
Yeah, so, should,
And who's responsible for that gap between, are you guys responsible for that piece between the wall and my place? Since that's your guys' sewer line that runs
yeah,
there.
we've got an easement through there, so, yeah, they wouldn't be able to do anything there.
They wouldn't be able to.
But as far as like
permit,
the weeds and all that, it gets so tall for.
still would fall on them. So we used to.
Well, yeah, it's their property, we just have an easement through it.
It just created a nice dark alleyway for people to hide, camp out.
The new homeless place.
Nobody will find anybody till they stink.
Or spring.
Are there any other issues with that?
You're on camera now, you're on YouTube.
That looked like a George
Not as the fire department goes, that's not what we do.
Yeah, I would think reaching out to the state or the county to see what they already have to do, because I'm sure there's got to be.
Yeah, there's gotta be some.
Regulations
reason to
in
take
place.
care of
On
it.
all the blueprints he sent to Ward, and I got a copy of them too, there's not a mention of changing the main road around or anything like that. So they haven't even.
We need to bring that to their attention, I think.
I wonder why the state's telling them no access off Highway 2.
That amazes me, I don't know why they would say it on that spot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Plenty of line of sight and all that. so-
Yeah, you would think it's ideal. That was what I
You'd think it'd be a lot
asked them.
safer.
Yeah.
I don't know if the city can shut down their easement coming off, maybe they can pipe between the two and actually make it right. So,
Will that be state easement?
where they're coming out of the,
Off of Sunrise.
Oh,
on
there.
that road, they could shut, you guys could shut that down and tell them no unless it was fixed. But I don't know how, I know on the county wise, I've got road approach permits for everybody, and that's kind of why they do it. We have control that way. I don't think the city's ever done anything like a road approach permit or anything like that.
Yeah, because that address has a Twilight address. It doesn't even have a Sunrise or a state address. It's all goofy anyways.
There's meter pits from Twilight.
Well, I don't know. We can't solve it right now, but good to know about. So if we're ready to move on, are you ready to move on? Did you want to say something?
Wish the state would mandatory sprinkler systems in these buildings now. That's a,
A lot of chemicals.
people don't think just because it's metal doesn't burn, but you watch videos, Dollar General's go up every week, and they're nasty fires.
Or is there not sprinkler system?
Because
fire?
our standard is anything over 12,000 square feet.
Yeah, if they build,
county or state.
they'll build it
So they build it,
11.9.
yeah, they're like under that limit.
Is that because we haven't adopted the updated fire code at the state?
I don't know.
International, we adopt the international building code every
Or
year.
UPS
But it-
building up
we
there,
haven't-
they built that.
the state
They built it
hasn't.
11,900 or whatever the number is.
Yeah.
And then they built their offices on the other side of the wall. So it was basically two separate buildings. And they got out of it.
On the other side of the
Is that something the
firewall.
city can later in the future put into effect for the city only? That building at a certain square footage, we can start,
Or occupancy or type
Yeah.
or,
because that building right there, anywhere else, it would have a fire sprinkler system. And it should, I mean, how pumped up, you know, and here we
Yeah,
are.
it's kind of standard now.
Yeah, it's just, it's a good thing for everyone.
we've talked years ago about updating building codes and so you have offsets and a little more stringent in some of the problems that we ran into and just issues, but we've never gone beyond that, so. But I think that was right when Mr. Higgins passed away too, so we had a void there for a few months.
Another thing, like I said, I'd really like the city to make that knockbox mandatory on commercial, anything that they want us to make access to.
Yeah.
So especially residential, like Golden Light Manor and all that.
The stores, any commercial, any business should have them.
Yeah.
Nobody on that trying to.
Try to get a hold of somebody, we can access it.
Oh,
Look at the house we have at the church.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna get the rural to start that up for gates and all that, so. I'm sure that we can split the cost between the city and the rural line, so it's not all on one or the other. But I called them today trying to get a price, and I couldn't get one yet, they don't have nothing on the internet with a price to even guess at it. The boxes, I think, range from $100 to $1,300 for the boxes for the buildings, so.
What it is, we have a box in our main truck that has a master key, and that key will fit every Knox box in our town, in our city.
In their whole fire
And all we do
district.
is call dispatch, say I need this access number, which is the access to our key, and they send a tone over the radio and unlocks it. So none of our volunteers can go in and just get that key and go open it.
Right.
You have to ask dispatch to release that key, kind of like their gun locks. They have to do their thing, so it's time for us to get the times, you know, they use them everywhere.
All right, moving on, for public comments on matters not on the agenda.
So, ran into Darren Short on Saturday up in Libby, and he asked about the hiring committee, because I think Chuck originally asked him to be on that, and he said, I have no idea, and he also provided some information on the requirement to have a police commission as part of that process. And so Paul, I sent you the MCA on that.
Okay.
And if you could forward that on to the council so we can sort through that. But since it's an MCA, it looks like we need to have a police commission in place. So for a force, or for any city or town in Montana with 3 or more officers.
When did you send it?
I sent it just a few minutes before the meeting. So.
Okay. All right, I was gonna say, I hadn't seen it yet. Okay. Perfect.
Is that police commission people that live in the city, or can be anyone?
I don't remember seeing that. It had to be
I would assume it's within the jurisdiction.
You would think it'd have to be within a city.
I can't
Yeah.
remember. I think it was pretty generically written as police commission, so it covered county and municipalities. So, because I remember Libby going through the process of reenacting theirs and going through that when they had their issues over there last year or so, something like that. So,
Yeah, that would be good to have.
Follow protocol.
Is there any word on the interviews? Do you know, Paul or Sharon?
They're supposed for tomorrow.
Okay.
You weren't
What?
told they were for tomorrow.
I emailed Friday and I didn't get a
Yeah.
response back.
Yeah, I think I saw it finally, sorry.
I knew they were tentatively going to be tomorrow, but I don't know time or anything.
Starting at 3.
Okay.
I don't know who else is supposed to be on it, so.
Well, given that Montana Code annotated states we have to have a police commission, I feel like we should put a pause on interviews so that we're doing things by the book.
Yeah.
Mhm.
how many interviews are there?
4.
4.
2 internal, 2 external. Point 3, residents of such city or town who shall have the qualifications required by law to hold a municipal office therein. So they would need to be
City residents.
Okay.
Do the police commissions, are they the ones that do the interviewing? Are they just like a rural board like for our fire department?
I think they review to ensure the candidate is qualified. And Shara, you have it pulled up there, I can't.
I do, but it doesn't really go into any more detail in this specific one, but I can look.
Yeah, so.
Just says required for any that have 3 or more full-time law enforcement officials.
I think it has the duties.
Not in this specific, it probably was somewhere. but-
Yeah, hopefully
Yeah.
there's like a subsection
Yep.
somewhere.
But I will email this link to myself and get working on it tomorrow.
Yeah, it seems like the sooner the better. Just to make sure we're doing everything right. Was there anything else not on the agenda? All right. Is that it?
I know, incredibly short. Which is okay.
We'll open the distillery up.
1 hour. Legal
When the
serving
distillery
time.
do, you can go.
You have to stop serving at a certain
What size?
Yeah, at 8. It's super limited
Why is it different than a regular bar?
because we don't have a liquor license. We have a distilling license, so it's totally different regulations.
That's too bad.
I mean, I don't mind going home at 8.
No, the fact that you're limited to like what your business hours would be. Right?
Yeah.
That's the difficult part.
I would think so.
All right, do we need a motion to adjourn?
No.
So we're done.
I thought we did.
Okay,
Perfect.
all right, to adjourn.
Hey Dennis, is the line energized down there?
It's not energized, it's not being used. We ran into a snafu the night we cut it over. And so we're gonna have to kill the one, now that we've got it energized, everything's working right. And everything's phased right. Now,